Ever wondered what angels are really like? We often picture them as cherubic winged babies floating on clouds. But the truth is far more fascinating. These powerful, intelligent beings serve a purpose far beyond the fluffy images we see in pop culture. In fact, angels are warriors, protectors, and divine messengers sent to carry out God's will. But what does that really mean for us? Get ready to uncover the 10 surprising facts that reveal the true nature of angels and how they might be closer to us than we think. Angels. We've all heard about them, but let's be honest, sometimes our image of them is more fantasy than reality. Many of us picture these adorable naked winged babies fluttering on clouds, but that's far from the truth. Angels are way more complex and awe-inspiring than our culture often portrays them. They are intelligent beings created by God with immense power and a very specific purpose. They're not just floating around aimlessly, they're actually actively carrying out the orders of God Himself. Now, if you've ever wondered about the true nature of angels and what they really do, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of angels and uncover some facts that might surprise you. Get ready for 10 truths about angels that every Christian should know. Fact 1. Angels are spirits who serve God. First off, let's set the record straight. Angels are not these cute little cherubs. According to the Bible, angels are spirits sent by God to do His bidding. Hebrews chapter 1 verses 13 to 14 tells us that angels are ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. That means they're not just floating around for no reason, they are on a divine mission. In Hebrews chapter 1, we're also reminded that Jesus is far greater than any angel. While Jesus is seated at God's right hand, angels are here to serve. The word minister in this context literally means to serve. These powerful beings are constantly at the service of God, carrying out His will. Revelation chapter 22, verse 9, even shows us an angel stopping John from worshiping him, saying, "Don't do that. I am a fellow servant." This is a powerful reminder that angels, as mighty as they are servants of God just like us. So when we pray, we might not always realize it, but angels could be involved in the answer. Just like the angel who was sent to Daniel in response to his prayers. Daniel chapter 10, verse 12. Angels can be used by God to respond to our needs too. It's not just about their power or majesty, it's about their role in serving God and His people. Fact 2. Angels are given specific tasks. Now, angels don't just serve in a generic way. They are given very specific tasks by God. One of the most well-known angels, Michael, is assigned to protect the people of Israel. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 tells us that Michael stands watch over the sons of your people. So Michael's task is clear, he's looking out for Israel. And the Bible rarely gives angels names, but Michael's name pops up several times as one who plays a prominent role. Then in Matthew chapter 18, verse 10, we get a glimpse of how angels are assigned to protect even the most vulnerable. Jesus warns His disciples to be careful not to look down on these little ones, because their angels are always in the presence of my Heavenly Father. This is where we get the idea of guardian angels, the angels assigned to care for and watch over children, guiding them and protecting them throughout their lives. Angels aren't just randomly assigned to serve, they are given specific important roles. Michael looks after Israel, and others are charged with protecting little ones. These are not just random jobs, these are highly specialized assignments from God. It's incredible to think that angels, these mighty beings, are involved in our everyday lives, working behind the scenes on our behalf. Fact 3. Angels carry out God's judgments. We may think of angels as these sweet, comforting beings, but they also have a fierce side. The Bible teaches us that angels are sometimes tasked with carrying out God's judgments. Revelation chapter 16, verse 1 gives us a powerful image. A voice tells 7 angels to pour out the bowls of God's wrath on the earth. These judgments are intense things like turning water into blood, sending scorching heat from the sun, and causing earthquakes that will level mountains. Each of these terrible judgments is carried out by an angel. These angels aren't simply messengers of good news. They are also powerful agents of God's judgment on a rebellious world. And if you look back at Genesis chapter 19, we see angels playing a similar role in the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. These aren't the soft, fluffy angels we often imagine. They're powerful, formidable beings that execute God's will without hesitation. So while we may be familiar with angels comforting and protecting us, we also have to remember their role in carrying out God's justice when the time comes. They are just as involved in judgment as they are in mercy. This powerful side of angels may be uncomfortable for some, but it's important to understand their complete role in God's plan. Let's keep diving into the fascinating world of angels. The Bible shows us that angels are much more than what we sometimes imagine. They're not just these mystical glowing figures in the clouds. In fact, one key thing we learn is that angels are given specific tasks by God. They are sent on divine missions to carry out God's will. In Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, we learn about one angel in particular, Michael. He's described as the great prince who watches over the people of Israel. Michael is one of the few angels named in the Bible alongside Gabriel and Lucifer, who eventually became Satan. The role of Michael is clear. He has a mission to protect and guide Israel. So it's not just about angels being beautiful winged creatures floating in heaven. These powerful beings have clear assignments. Some angels are sent on particular missions. In Matthew chapter 18, verse 10, Jesus warns us not to look down on children, saying that their angels are always before God's throne. This is a powerful reminder that some angels are specifically tasked with caring for children. This is one of the places where we get the idea of guardian angels, the thought that God has assigned special beings to watch over us, protect us, and help guide us through life. When we think of angels in this light, it changes how we view them. They are more like warriors, protectors, and helpers actively working on our behalf. I've often wondered if those quiet, pivotal moments when we feel an unexplainable sense of peace or protection might actually be a guardian angel at work, fulfilling their divine mission to keep us safe. But angels aren't just there to serve in the background. They have an even deeper and more significant role when it comes to God's judgment. We see this clearly in the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 16, verse 1, angels are given the task of pouring out God's wrath on the earth. Now this is where it gets intense. These angels aren't just delivering nice messages or guiding people, they are executing judgment. The Bible describes how these angels are sent to pour out 7 bowls of wrath upon the earth. The first bowl causes painful sores to break out on those who bear the mark of the beast. The second and third bowls turn the sea and rivers into blood. The fourth bowl brings scorching heat, while the fifth bowl plunges the earth into darkness. The sixth bowl dries up the Euphrates River to make way for the kings of the east. And the seventh bowl results in a cataclysmic earthquake that levels mountains and islands along with a terrifying hailstorm. Each of these devastating events is carried out by an angel, showing just how immense their power is. We can often get stuck in a mindset that angels are purely gentle beings, these messages of peace, love, and protection. But the reality is that angels also carry out God's judgment, and they do so with incredible power. The severity of these judgments shows us just how terrifying angels can be when they're fulfilling their divine role. And that brings us to another shocking truth about angels, just how powerful they truly are. When you think about strength in the Bible, it's easy to picture great warriors or mighty kings. But in 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 35, we see that a single angel took out an army of 185,000 trained soldiers in one night. Let that sink in for a second. One angel, 185,000 soldiers, one night. Now try to imagine that level of power. If we break it down, this means that this angel was killing 5 soldiers every second for 10 hours straight. That's faster than anything we can comprehend. This wasn't just a one-time event either. It shows us that angels are capable of extraordinary feats of strength far beyond what any human being could accomplish. So when we think of angels, we often picture something beautiful and gentle. But angels are so much more than that. They are immensely powerful beings who can destroy entire armies with just one strike. And it's not just the judgment that proves their might. Angels also possess abilities that we can barely even understand. Whether they're sending plagues or guiding God's people, the sheer scale of their power is staggering. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite all this power, angels aren't something to be afraid of, at least not in the way we might think. As we've seen in Luke chapter 1, verse 11 to 13, the appearance of an angel can actually be terrifying. When Zacharias the priest saw an angel, he was struck with fear. But the angel immediately reassured him, saying, "Do not be afraid." This is a common response in the Bible. Whenever an angel appears, fear falls upon the person, and the angel has to tell them to not be afraid. This fear isn't because angels are bad or evil. It's because of their immense power. The presence of such overwhelming strength and holiness can cause even the bravest of us to be afraid. But it's important to remember that angels are on our side. They are working on behalf of God's children, guiding us and protecting us from harm. So while they may be fearsome, they are also messengers of hope, carrying out God's will to help us. That's why angels often tell us not to be afraid. Yes, they are powerful and awe-inspiring, but they are here to help to serve God and to guide us along the way. I think we can all relate to moments when we've faced situations that seemed bigger than us, and yet we felt an inexplicable sense of peace or protection. Could that have been an angel's intervention? It's certainly possible. So far, we've seen how angels serve God, have specific tasks, and possess immense power. But there's so much more to their role. Stay with me as we continue exploring the truth about angels in the next part. There's still much more to uncover. As we continue our journey into the world of angels, there's something truly remarkable about their appearances that can challenge the way we typically envision them. For so long, we've been shown images of angels as glowing winged beings with halos. But the Bible gives us a much more complex picture. Angels have the ability to take on different forms, some even looking like ordinary people. In Genesis chapter 19, verses 4 to 5, we're introduced to angels who took on the appearance of men. When these angels arrived in the city of Sodom to bring judgment, the men of the city didn't recognize them as angels. They saw them simply as visitors. The Bible describes how the angels were mistaken for men, showing us that some angels can look like ordinary humans. This is a fascinating idea. Angels, the mighty beings we often associate with supernatural power, can look like regular people. We often think of them as being beyond our understanding, with strange features, glowing auras, and otherworldly appearances. But in this passage, the angels blend into the world around them, walking among humans without revealing their true nature. This theme is echoed again in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 2, which says, "Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing some have unwittingly entertained angels." Imagine that a simple act of kindness, showing hospitality to someone in need, might actually mean you're hosting an angel unknowingly. I think this serves as a powerful reminder of how often we overlook the divine presence in our everyday lives. We may think that angels only show up during moments of crisis, but the Bible tells us that they could be walking among us at any time. This is a profound and humbling thought. It challenges the way we view our interactions with others. What if in helping someone, we are unknowingly helping a heavenly being? This leads us to an interesting point: the concept of guardian angels. If angels can take on human form and walk among us, could it be that God has assigned angels to watch over specific individuals? In Matthew chapter 18, verse 10, Jesus says, "Take heed that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I say to you that in heaven their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven." This passage suggests that God has given each of us angels to watch over us, especially children. The idea of guardian angels is comforting, isn't it? It reminds us that we're never truly alone, even in our most vulnerable moments. Whether or not we can see them, angels are always with us, looking out for our well-being, guiding us through life's challenges. But angels don't just look like people. Some of them have far more extraordinary forms, ones that we can barely wrap our minds around. In Isaiah chapter 6, verses 1 to 2, the prophet Isaiah describes the seraphim, angelic beings who serve in God's presence. These angels have 6 wings, 2 to cover their faces, 2 to cover their feet, and 2 to fly. They are powerful, majestic beings who exist to glorify God and serve His will. These seraphim are described as fiery celestial beings who constantly worship God, crying out, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." The very sight of them would be overwhelming, leaving Isaiah in awe and wonder. Imagine witnessing such a magnificent being burning with passion for God's glory. It's a far cry from the soft, delicate image of angels we often see in art. Another group of angels with incredible features are the cherubim. In Ezekiel chapter 10, verses 20 to 21, the prophet Ezekiel has a vision of these remarkable creatures. Each cherub has 4 faces and 4 wings. They have the faces of a man, a lion, an ox, and an eagle, representing the fullness of God's creation. These creatures were also tasked with guarding sacred spaces like the Garden of Eden after Adam and Eve sinned. The cherubim's faces alone challenge our understanding of what angels look like. They aren't the soft, gentle beings we often picture, but powerful, complex creatures that symbolize the fullness of God's creative power. They carry a message of God's majesty and the depth of His wisdom. These angelic beings are far beyond anything we could imagine, displaying characteristics that speak to the vastness of God's creation. In addition to seraphim and cherubim, there are also archangels. One well-known archangel is Michael, who in Jude chapter 1 verse 9 is called the archangel. Michael's role is a leader among angels, often depicted as a warrior who fights against the forces of evil. His power and authority set him apart from regular angels, indicating that there are different classes and roles for angels, each with its own purpose in God's kingdom. What's fascinating is that the Bible only mentions a few names of angels, even though we know they're all serving specific purposes. While we know of Gabriel's role as a messenger, he delivers important messages like the announcement of Christ's birth. Michael is often seen as the protector of God's people, especially Israel. And then there's Lucifer, who fell from grace and became Satan, the adversary of God. In addition to these three main classes, there are also the living creatures described in the book of Revelation. These beings are similar to the seraphim with 6 wings, but they also have eyes all over their bodies, adding to their mystery. These creatures are constantly in the presence of God, singing His praises and declaring His holiness. They're another example of how angels can take many different forms depending on their divine mission and role. When you start to think about it, angels are far more complex and diverse than we often realize. They aren't just these ethereal beings floating in the background. They have specific roles, appearances, and tasks. Whether they're guarding us, delivering messages, or executing God's judgment, angels are active participants in God's plan for the world. The takeaway here is that angels are far more than the soft, gentle beings we often picture. They are powerful, mighty servants of God with specific roles and incredible forms. They are constantly at work fulfilling God's will and guiding us along the way. Their appearances might vary, but their purpose is always the same: to serve God and help us, His people. As we continue exploring the nature of angels, one of the most intriguing aspects of their existence is how closely they are involved in our everyday lives. Angels are not distant, untouchable beings. In fact, some of them might be right here with us, walking among us, working behind the scenes in ways we may never fully understand. This idea that angels could be interacting with us on a physical level is both humbling and awe-inspiring. In Hebrews chapter 13 verse 2 we read, "Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing some have unwittingly entertained angels." This passage suggests that in showing kindness and hospitality to others, we might actually be helping an angel without even realizing it. Think about that for a moment. The person you help today. The stranger you encounter might be an angel in disguise. It's a powerful reminder of how we should treat others with respect and kindness, because we never know when we might be in the presence of someone sent by God to carry out a divine mission. It's easy to think of angels as being far removed from our world, existing in another realm, only showing up when the world is in crisis or when we're praying for help. But the truth is that angels are active participants in God's plan for our lives. They're not just watching from afar. They're here working to protect us, to guide us, and to assist us in ways that are often hidden from our view. Take a moment to think about some of the times when you've experienced an unexpected feeling of peace or protection during a difficult time. Could it have been that an angel was sent to help you in that very moment? Maybe you've had a close call on the road only to suddenly feel an unexplainable sense of calm, or you found yourself in a tough spot, yet someone showed up just when you needed them. These moments might seem like coincidences, but the Bible reminds us that we might have been in the presence of an angelic being fulfilling their God-given mission to guide us. Another example we see in the Bible of angels interacting with humans is in Acts chapter 12, verses 5 to 10. When Peter was imprisoned, the church prayed for his release, and an angel appeared to free him. The angel physically stood by Peter, guiding him past guards and opening the gates of the prison. Imagine the scene: Peter, asleep in prison, unaware of what was about to happen, suddenly finds himself guided by an angel being freed from chains. This shows that angels are not just celestial beings far removed from our lives. They're intimately involved in helping and protecting us, especially in times of need. What's even more astonishing is that according to the Bible, angels might be involved in our spiritual battles. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, the Apostle Paul talks about the spiritual battle we face not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. It's in these moments when we face challenges that are beyond our understanding or control that angels might be fighting on our behalf, protecting us from the unseen forces that seek to harm us. This idea of angels being involved in spiritual warfare gives us a deeper appreciation for their role. They are not just servants of God, they are warriors fighting against the forces of darkness that we cannot see. In the book of Daniel, we see how angels battle against demonic forces. In Daniel chapter 10, verse 12, an angel tells Daniel that he had been delayed in delivering a message due to a battle with the prince of the kingdom of Persia. This spiritual battle delayed the angel's mission to deliver an important message to Daniel. This passage reveals just how involved angels are in the spiritual realm, fighting for God's purposes and battling against forces that seek to destroy. But it's not all just about the battle. Angels also play a role in comforting and encouraging us in our spiritual walk. In Luke chapter 22, verse 43, when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane facing his greatest trial, an angel appeared to strengthen him. In his moment of deep sorrow and anguish when he prayed to his Father, "Not my will but yours be done," an angel was there to offer comfort and strength. This moment shows us that angels are also sent to encourage and help us in our moments of weakness. When we face trials, whether in our faith, our relationships, or our personal lives, we're not alone. God has sent his angels to provide the strength we need to keep going. As we reflect on the ways angels might be impacting our lives, it's also important to remember that angels are not meant to be worshipped. In Revelation chapter 22, verse 9, the Apostle John in his vision of an angel falls at the feet of the angel to worship him. But the angel stops him saying, "See that you do not do that. I am your fellow servant." Worship God. This serves as a reminder that angels are not the focus. They are messengers, servants of God, working to fulfill his will. Our worship and devotion belong to God alone. But even though angels aren't to be worshipped, they are to be respected and appreciated for their role in our lives. They are servants of God, carrying out his purposes and working on behalf of his people. They are deeply involved in the spiritual realities of our world, fighting on our behalf, offering guidance and helping us in ways we can't always see. The presence of angels among us is a reminder of the unseen world that exists all around us. It encourages us to live with a deeper awareness of God's protection and provision. As we go about our daily lives, we can rest in the knowledge that angels are actively involved in our lives, guiding us, protecting us, and fighting on our behalf. As we wrap up our exploration of angels, it's important to look at the incredible future that awaits us in heaven. A future where we will fully understand the role of angels and experience their presence in a way we can't yet imagine. The Bible gives us a glimpse into this future where angels are not just messengers or protectors, but are part of the ultimate glorious plan that God has for his people. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 2-3, the Apostle Paul writes, "Do you not know that the saints will judge the world? And if the world will be judged by you, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Do you not know that we shall judge angels?" This is a powerful and somewhat surprising statement. One day, God's people, those who have been redeemed through Jesus Christ, will have a role in judging angels. It's almost unfathomable to think that the very beings who serve God so faithfully and with such immense power will one day be judged by human beings. But this passage tells us something profound. Those who are in Christ are not just God's children, but they are co-heirs with Christ. We share in his glory, his authority, and his reign. The fact that God will give his people the authority to judge angels speaks to the incredible position we hold in his kingdom. This is not about us being better than angels, but it's about the incredible grace of God, who through Christ elevates his children to a place of honor and authority. When we think about angels in the context of eternity, we must also understand that they too have their part in God's eternal plan. Angels were created by God for a purpose, and that purpose isn't just limited to our time on earth. In heaven, angels will continue to serve God, worshiping him and fulfilling his will for all eternity. But here's the twist. While angels are powerful and majestic beings, they are not the focus of heaven. The focus is always on God. And as believers, we too will join with the angels in worshiping him. In Revelation chapter 4, we get a vision of the throne room of God, where angels and all of creation are gathered around his throne, saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come." This is a vision of what eternity will look like, a constant eternal praise of God. Angels are part of that worship, and so will we be. We'll join in the chorus of praise, not just as servants or worshipers, but as beloved children of God who have been redeemed by his grace. But even though we'll be part of this eternal worship, there's a deeper level of connection with angels that we can look forward to. As we saw earlier, angels have been serving God and working on our behalf throughout our lives. But in heaven, we will have the opportunity to fully appreciate their role in God's divine plan. We'll understand the ways that angels have helped us, protected us, and fought for us against spiritual forces of darkness. Imagine that moment when we're able to thank the angels who stood by us during times of trial, who delivered messages of hope, and who fought against unseen forces on our behalf. We'll be able to look back and see the ways God's angels were actively working in our lives, and we'll be in awe of their service and commitment. At the same time, it's important to remember that angels are not the ultimate focus of our eternal life in heaven. The real focus is Jesus. As much as we respect and appreciate angels for their role, they are not to be worshipped. Jesus alone is worthy of our worship, honor, and praise. In fact, the book of Revelation tells us that the angels themselves direct all glory to Jesus. When John tries to worship an angel, the angel immediately says, "Worship God." This is a reminder that while angels are magnificent and powerful, they are servants of the Almighty, and the worship of God alone belongs to Him. In heaven, we will also experience something incredible, the perfect fellowship with God and with each other. The Bible promises that when we are with God, we will no longer see through a glass dimly, but we will see Him face to face. We will be in perfect communion with God, with the angels, and with each other. In 1 John chapter 3, verse 2, the Apostle John says, "Beloved, now we are children of God, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be. But we know that when He is revealed, we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him as He is." This is the hope we look forward to in eternity, where we will be fully transformed into the likeness of Christ and experience the full glory of God. So as we reflect on the role of angels, we realize that while they are vital to God's plan, they are not the end goal. The end goal is to be with God. Angels play an important part in helping us get there, guiding us, protecting us, and delivering messages from God. But their role ultimately points to something greater, the glory of God. And as we think about our future with God and His angels, let's remember that it's a future filled with joy, worship, and fulfillment. We will be reunited with fellow believers, with angels, and most importantly, with God Himself. Heaven will be a place where we are fully known and fully loved, where we will experience the ultimate peace and joy that comes from being in the presence of our Creator. In this life, we may struggle, and we may face challenges that seem insurmountable. But we can take comfort in knowing that angels are working on our behalf, fighting in the spiritual realm for our well-being, and protecting us as we walk through life. And in the life to come, we will experience a reunion with these heavenly beings, and together we will worship the One who created us all. The Bible gives us this incredible hope not just for this life, but for eternity. So as we close this series on angels, remember that the ultimate goal is not just to understand angels better, but to draw closer to God Himself, who has given us the privilege of experiencing His love and grace now and forever. As we've seen, angels are far more than just heavenly beings. They're powerful messengers, protectors, and servants of God, actively involved in our lives and His divine plan. Knowing that we're never truly alone, and that angels may be working on our behalf, brings incredible peace and reassurance. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, so we can continue exploring more powerful truths together. Thanks for watching, and remember, God's angels are always by your side, fighting for you and guiding your steps.